Hello everyone, this is Tanushree from Team Impact. Today we have an essay guest, Mr. Siva Subramanian, who is the head global talent transformation as Agilisium Consulting. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah. So as we go with the story on your Agilisium consultation, I want to know the interesting curiosity, sir. Story how you came up with the agility of your name.
The way you named the organization is Agilisium. Okay, that's an interesting story when the CEO wanted to name it this way. The company that I work for, we are into data engineering, generative AI support. I would say we are a data insights company for the life science industry. Like when we were traveling this way and we wanted to understand what's the core value of the company. The core value of the company is agility. And we are very, very agile in terms of working. So one part of the name comes from that angle. But the truth is, since he believes in agility and somewhere back in 2000 times, he was watching a sci-fi movie called this Agilisium. Right. And he said, like, now I have the Tara moment, I'll say Agile and Agilisium, let's combine it. And that's how the name Agilisium came into the picture.
Never knew a movie can be an inspiration to some. Maybe can you please give me a summary of the movie because I'm not sure what movie it was.
And I have no idea what the movie is all about. We all heard it's a sci-fi movie, and it's quite very rare to hear that my CEO sits and watches movies.
I don't know, but yeah.
So he's a very interesting character to deal with here. But when he spoke about it, we said like, none of us made the research about what the movie is more about. But we were all interested in, okay, that's something that has triggered, or probably it gave him, it gave him a push to name a company behind.
Maybe the creativity will combine two things at one direct. This is so great, sir. No, I give a hands up to his creativity. And well, so the big data as you could it, the sort of data are being coming nowadays. This AI has been come into our existence. So can you how you would do that big data and do these companies? Or how you have peak?
So there's this one one caveat that we have to be very clear about is we are dealing with not any simple data set, or they're not dealing with any data that is publicly available. There are publicly available data, not much of it, because we deal with the healthcare information, we deal with the life science information, right? It's very, very sensitive data. And if you have to apply the data on top of it, the topology, the technology that we use remains the same. But what we do is the layers that we get in to deal with this particular information is so very huge. Right? Imagine if I have to bring in AI to any of the processes or any of the work that we do, it's easy. I would say at today's point in time, if you have to introduce an AI that can help you do this recording better, if I can bring in an AI that can edit better, if can bring in an AI that can enhance the slide better, we can. But how do we bring in artificial intelligence on top of a very, very sensitive data, and that can have a huge impact both on the society and on people?
Yeah, that's a factor you should keep in mind. Then.
Yes. So, and that's the space we are into. We are looking at what generating AI solutions that we can build that can improve the life science industry, that can contribute to the life science industry, making this world a better place to be. If I had to quote an example, that's the same question that I was asking when I was talking to the larger audience as well. Earlier, a drug used to take about 15 odd years to hit the market. Right. Today, thanks to the technology, it can hit the market in 5 to 6 years, including the preclinical phase, the 4 or 5 phases of clinical trials, post-clinical trials. For a drug to hit the market itself is going to take huge steps. Forget what the revenue that the company is making. Yeah, there is a revenue part to it. But this drug is something that's going to save lives, reduce pain, make people feel better, right? So now, if something is going to take 12 years, and if you have to bring it down to 5 years, that's how it is, right? So that's what some of the solutions that we have built plays a big part in clinical trials, post-clinical trials. There are solutions that you have built to ease the processes for the companies that are in this space. So not easy to do such a kind of a work for the data that we deal with, but yeah, some of you are getting it done to this.
Mind-blowing, sir. That this technology advancement has got very good job reaching the market on time, helping people, and helping their thing to be a better life in future. And one of it is common curiosity in mind that how is the company environment? Because I like the company that pipe. The way it was like building me curiosity. As for the CEO, I like his creativity.
Yeah, pretty much. See, we're still another IT organization, but what is interesting is unlike any other organizations or quick established organizations, there is a hierarchy, right? So you report into somebody reports into somebody, the communication protocol is like that. But the organization that I work for is a very, very flat organization. When I say flat organization, yeah, hierarchy is there. There are designations, but those are there for the business purposes, not for people.
Like a transparency between
Anybody can reach out to anybody. That's the open door that's available. None of the leaders of the company sit inside a closed cabin, right? So let's say if there is an intern, forget about an employee. If there is an intern working in the company, can walk up to the CEO's office and have a conversation. The other way around. This guy CEO who's sitting on the top, not just him, all his one-downs. These people move around the entire office to talk to everybody in the company. That's one thing that's making life easy. Like I said, we are a typical IT organization. We have our own challenges. We have our own people challenges, business challenges. But beyond that, what is it that's differentiating us from the other companies? We are super flat. Super flat to a level anybody reaches out to anywhere.
Yes, so even I feel like there should be a transparency between two people or anyone, because it gives a creative mindset between two people, communicate each other, bring out a barrier change. So one of the LinkedIn, I think through your LinkedIn skim through and all, there was like one word called gamification.
Yeah.
Medical end game. What's the interposer?
I wouldn't say I apply gamification into this industry, but gamification, as simple as it, if you can apply any of the game mechanics to any part of the learning.
Can you break down it?
Yeah. For example, let's say if I want to teach or if I want to help people learn this programming language called Python.
Okay.
Now, there is a traditional way to train people on that. You go through the entire algorithm, you learn the syntax, you code, you come up with the projects and things. When you introduce gamification, what you basically do is you bring in all the game mechanics, right?
That's the relation.
Wouldn't say always simulation that happens there. When you play a game, do you play mobile games? Yeah, I've played mobile games. What are some of the things that you see there in a mobile game?
To make sure it goes in the same bar, not be that or fail in that.
No, what are some of the things that you see that on the screen or the way the game is built? Can you name a game that you have played on your mobile phone? Can play it?
Play PUBG.
Great. Okay. Take PUBG as example, right? So, what part of the game tells you you are an elite player, you are an ace player?
The upper colon with the bash, it's it.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a game mechanic. Yeah. And what are the 3 different places that you can play in PUBG?
Using the bash, the rank kick is used.
No, there are multiple places that you can land with it.
Yeah. It has a map option where you can stick to it. It has also a feature where
you can land into a particular path.
Yeah.
That's a game element. Now, extract the gaming element, put that into a learning technology. That becomes gamification. I'll give you a simple example. I'll go back to the Python example again. If I have to teach you Python, I did not go through the traditional methods, but what we do is we bring in these elements of gamification. Like there will be a ranking, there will be a leaderboard, which tells you how much the other Python learners, where are you on that level, right? There can be proportions that are the reality given to you. So that's all. If I also involve, like there are, like, going back to the same PUBG game, there are multiple maps. What if I allow you to move from one part of the code to another part of the code, learn this and come back? And that's also gamification. You get a feel, whatever that you go through when you play a game, can you go through the same when you are learning? And can you still enjoy learning? Plus at the same time ensure that you have learned something. That's gamification. If I have to quote a very, very recent example of what we have done here, at Agilisium, we have introduced something as part of the talent transformation called as F5. F5, yeah. Like F1, we have an F5. Pretty simple. F5 is inspired based on Windows keyboard. Windows keyboard, right? So what happens if you hit an F5 button on your keyboard? If at all, if you try getting that. That thing, it goes to terminal? No. Then you go to terminal, it basically refreshes your system. Oh. Right, so you go to your desktop, press F5, it's going to refresh your system. The initiative that you've brought us is named as F5 because we want people to refresh as they learn, or if they want to refresh, they can learn. There are two ways to it. You refresh and learn, or if you want to refresh, come on, learn. Right, so we brought in all these gaming elements out there, making learning fun, learning easy, and learning more practically. We introduce every month we do an F5 session where we bring in a gamified version of learning to something that is traditionally not meant to be learned through gaming. We wanted to train people on this technology called the SQL, or they call it the SQL. SQL. Right, the database thing. Instead of teaching them the regular SQL methods, or instead of evaluating them on their skills on SQL, what we did was we built a murder mystery day. I'm very cheeky. Right, and you basically find out the murderer. How do you find it? You should write SQL logs. The more you dig into a code, the more tables that you visit, you will be able to find out a murderer. Right, that's the way we assess people in terms of what their skills are. That's gamification.
You blow it for me.
This covers gamification.
Yeah, I have been through books and books, a lot of books. I have put my head through passing my semesters for these things. But you, in a clip or a meditator made the game, you can bring out new challenges and help me do it all in one go. No, that's so nice. And anything around that way, you have in books or like some inspiration that made you come to this company and do something more to impact the society.
Okay, ask me for a book suggestion and you are introduced, we go for an hours because I love reading. Maybe I'll pick up a couple of things that I read and then I kept telling people to go back and read these books. I would say that landed me to a job that I'm currently doing, but those books are something that's shaping me as an individual, shaping me as a leader in the organization, and shaping me in terms of what I do at my workplace. How do I think at my workplace? Right, there is this one book that I have always recommended people to read. Is this book called as Change Your Questions to Change Your Life. Okay, it's a very, very interesting, simple book where the book talks about two mindsets you can take. You can take a judger mindset. You can take a learner mindset. As I talk to you, I have two options. I can judge who you are as a person, or I can take a turn, wait, and I can see what can I learn from this situation. I can judge, go back and say, okay, this person is a student of this college, or maybe I can judge saying, hey, this person comes from this part of the city. I can judge that this person is doing it because of this. That's my judger mindset. Can I stop it there? Can I go back to the learner mindset and ask, why is this person doing it? What is driving this person doing it? Why am I here? What can I do to help you make this interview better? That's a learner mindset. You can read this book like a fiction because this is one non-fiction book written in the form of fiction. This is one book. Another book that I always believed till date, it's a very, very familiar book. It's a cliche title that I have. The title is called as Alchemist. Alchemist? Alchemist. Alchemy is an art of turning any metal into gold. It's written by this guy called as Paulo Coelho. And I believe in this book. If I have to sum that entire book in one phrase, one line, this is how the book is. If you really, really, really want to do something, the whole work will conspire and help you achieve that. That's the bottom line of the book. If you want to do something, the whole world is going to stand by you, help you achieve that. And that's how I landed up into this role, currently where I'm getting the global talent transformation. Because I felt, before I could land up into this job, I felt I'm the lonely genius in the world, trying to change the entire landscape of learning and development. And I believed I never got an opportunity to work for a global thing. And I continue to think that, okay, how do I go and work for an organization where learning is given the paramount importance and you will be given a free will to do whatever you want to do as I headed the learning at Duila. And I ended up into this job and I'm doing what I wanted to do. I'm probably living the way I dreamt of living as a learning and development professional. So those are the two books that I would recommend.
York's Hard Whistle. This is like blowing my mind. I'm going to go at that and going to read that. Because today's generation are very fast. They judge people in a minute or minute second and they really throw them apart, not knowing what real jewel as second book says. So 2 books intertwining is one. Hats off stuff for you. And last word, as we come to a conclusion, I want the last words. For today's generation, wants to do something greater in their lives, not just sit back and see what happens.
I wouldn't give it an advice, because if I give it as an advice, it's only applicable to me, not to the other person. So what I would do is, I can recommend a quest that people can ask. And if I ask myself a question, I cannot lie to you. I am better judge of myself. If you ask me a question, I can lie to you. Right? But if I ask a question intrinsically, and if I want to get an answer, I don't think I can lie to myself, right? So this is one question that I would say. I keep asking at least once a month, and if I get an answer, I believe I've grown. If I don't get an answer, I don't believe I've not grown much. The question is, when was the last time you did some people the first time? I'll repeat my question. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Can you go back in your experience and say, okay, this is something that I did for the first ever time in my life. It can be anything. That's why life becomes interesting. So that time I repeat this question. When was the last time you did something for the first time? And if you constantly get answers to this question and you are on the growth path, you are actually becoming better. Because if I go back to the previous month, let's say December, let's say November, and if I go back and see, well, what was the last time I did something the first time in the month of December, if I get an answer, I feel better.
So can you give me an answer, if you mind?
Yeah, I can. I don't mind giving an answer, because this is as part of my habit tracker that I made, and I have to do something that I'm about to do. Right. So I would say, right from all the August till now, I have it very, very fresh in my memory. I always wanted to go on a solo biking, and I've been aspiring this to do for about years and years and years. I would say my age minus 7 years would have been the time that I would have wanted to go on a solo bike. Month of August, backpacked, went down, rode the entire roads of Leh Ladakh, and I killed that. That was the first time thing that I'm doing in a city that I'd never been to, never went on a solo ride. My first solo ride itself was that. That can be that granular. It can be very, very simple as well. I love cooking. I'm a foodie. I love cooking, right? Last month I tried a dish which I never tried in the past. I never tried brewing a fermented drink back home. Right? So I used to throw pages and I said, like, okay, let me try and create a drink for myself back home. And we created the drink is called Tapashet. It's a Mexican drink.
Oh.
So I never thought I knew back home. So it can be very simple of probably cooking a dish, or maybe trying your hands on something for the first time, or it can be as big as I ventured out for Simpa. So ask me for the month of January. Take me to a tea conversation, I can do a TED talk. That's what I am. I can never stay silent. I can never remain without talking. And last month I said, okay, how you got to save your energy. And I said, every weekend I dedicate 3 hours, maybe 2 hours, just practicing silence.
A meditation, pay.
I wouldn't say meditation. I'm still all awake, I am conscious, I move around, but I don't talk. I conserve my energy. No mobile phones. I don't consume books by that time. I don't paint and sketch to take a love to it. Sit down, do nothing. Be not be bored. And you got to be bored at some point in time, right? So I don't do anything. 2 hours, I sit down, don't talk to anybody, continue to think, continue to spend time with myself. That's something that you ask me, what is the last thing? When was the first time you did something for the first time? This is one that I did the last Feb. No, I haven't figured out anything yet. I believe I've got another 25 days. So
Sure, sir. You will get one. Very interesting and creative. And thank you for having you here, giving us all those thoughtful insights and seriously packed up with all those good things. And I'm going to do that back. It was very thoughtful. Thank you, sir, for having
thank you so much. Pleasure is mine.